they're speaking to people that maybe have the choice because they run their own companies or they run their own business. You work for McDonald's, y'all know McDonald's not feeding y'all real meat, right? So that goes against your core values. Like you work for Walmart. Walmart goes on ahead and they hire people from China. They make the people in China live in these damn apartment complexes and tenements, work day and night, pay them 17 cents an hour so you could buy a toy water gun for 17.99. Like get out of here. Are you serious right now?
How you make a living should align with your values. How you make a living should align with your values.
I just want to tell y'all, everybody, okay, this stream was curated. Okay, it was curated especially to try to trap me up. Jesus. And you know what? I am ready for the challenge.
Jesus cover me.
Jesus over there.
All right, let's see what you heathen said. We're gonna start off. I'm gonna start off first. Gosh, this one is tough. If let me read this once. Let me read this once again. How you make a living should align with your value. I disagree. I strongly disagree. Trigger Mike, what you think?
Wait, how do you make it? I strongly agree.
Strongly agree. Okay. Chris J.
I agree.
You agree?
Mm-hmm.
Rob B, what you think?
I am actually net neutral on this one.
Jesus cover me.
Somebody shake the little ass on the pole back in the day, huh? That's what you need.
Yeah.
How you know
Somebody
that's
did
not
amateur
in
night at the
alignment?
Players Club, so that's why you neutral, huh?
How you know
Mhm.
that's not in alignment with my values? I could strongly agree.
You right, you right.
Hey, hey.
Come on.
See, look, see how they do me, Jesus. You see how they do me, Jesus. They won't let. I strongly disagree. Then shit, they always trying to make me choose. They trying to make me
Thank you.
choose.
So this is how the panel's lined up. All right, Chris, we're gonna let you get this one first. Why do you agree?
I agree because I don't because it don't make no sense to partake in certain occupations that you know that is going to put you, like I mentioned earlier, that's going to put your morals in a compromise. Like for example, I don't believe in utilizing any form of illegal narcotics. So I can be a little bit more specific. But what will I look like for being a drug dealer to my community just to make an extra buck? I remember a long time ago on the far less level, ladies and gentlemen. I used to work at CBS, and behind us, when before they lost their license, I had there's all these cigarettes surrounded behind me, and as much as I'm telling people not to smoke because of what it can do to you, I'm also turning around, getting whichever marble flavor you want, and selling it to you. Now, I personally did not feel good about that situation. And like I said, it's a small level. Thank God that that was long time ago, like maybe 10 plus years ago. So I don't have to worry about that. But for me to compromise what I believe in just to make a dollar, that didn't feel right to me. That was dead wrong on my part. So, like I said, I do agree that what you do for a living needs to align with what you believe in.
Okay. Uh, Robbie, you strongly disagreed. Why?
Because at the end of the day, who give a shit? Listen, you can have great values and principles, and then every now and again you stumble upon a lick, and sometimes some things fall in your lap. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, make a shake. What it is, what it is. Like You finna make money all the time. Now, should you know what I'm saying, sacrifice a golden calf in order to, you know what I'm saying, get where you want it to be in life? No. But if you get a windfall and it's questionable origin, well, you know what I'm saying, just tuck it away in the bank account, you know what I'm saying, keep smiling, keep pushing. I don't know, like it's stupid because if you go to work and you work at a job, you work for a company, the company is not going to be in alignment with your goals and your values, but you still got to eat. Make it enough. Shit, the hell.
All right, all right, all right. Trigger Mike, hit us up. You said that you strongly agree. Why?
Get that question back on the screen. Yeah, if you would please, good sir.
How you
How
make
you
a
make a
living?
living? I did say strongly agree. And when you said make a living, not just a job, not just something you're doing on a side hustle, where you eventually end up should align with your values. I think if you're going to be intentional about doing anything and if you're going to have longevity in it, the best case scenario for you is to have a job that aligns with your values. I'm very pro Second Amendment. I'm very pro family. I will off anybody in protection of my family. Therefore, I have a gun business. I am a federal firearms licensee. I graduated as a nurse, then a healthcare administrator, and I do that, and I take that into my day job in medical education now, right? And even when I worked in the hospital to care with people, I have advanced the way I have in life because I my job aligned with my values, and in that job, I was able to succeed solely I was genuine. It lend itself to the genuine experience of Mike. I can tell this person is being genuine. I can tell that they care. When it comes to the gun side, I can tell he know what he's talking about because he's very intentional when he teaches these classes or he's telling me about this gun I should buy, so on and so forth. So yeah, it should definitely align with your values. It just makes you a more genuine person doing the work, and you will achieve longevity using that method.
Okay, all right. I totally disagree with that take. I'm sorry. You can be a police officer and not like to see your community be racially profiled, but be a part of racially profiled individuals. You can be a baseball player who does not agree with selling or drinking alcohol, but be playing baseball and doing all this stuff. You can do a lot of things in which your values don't necessarily. You can work for a bank. I since we're storytelling, I used to work for Bank of America. I used to also work for Wells Fargo for a small little bit. Both of these banks have been sued for racially discriminations in the housing market. I still tried to make a living. Once again, I think we can sit highly and morally on this hill and say that every value that you have as a human being is a way that you make a living. I disagree. I think sometimes we basically separate what we do for work from who we are as an individual. Uh, I, I mean, come on now. Now, unless you're the owner of Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby who wants to close down their offices on Sunday, most of us do not have this opportunity or freedom. We have options that we take based on the circumstances of our life, and I just strongly disagree with the notion that everything that how you make a living should be dependent upon your value system. I think it's a good try, but not really that good. So I strongly disagree, y'all. So is anybody like? Are you guys kidding me
I
with
don't think
this?
Did Raw go, or am I tripping?
Yeah, Robbie did go.
Oh,
You thought I was gonna sit here silent if I didn't go. Y'all know better than this.
So what? Wait, I'm sorry, guys. Like y'all, you guys got to be kidding me. You guys got to be kidding me that everywhere that you worked on the mission statement and on the letterhead and every like they've never had any issues. I'm sorry with
So
your values.
I'm just saying, you got to look at you. I'm sure you developed this question. You got to answer it the way you worded it. So you're saying, can you work a job? that doesn't align with your values, sure you can, because you
Mhm.
use that police example. You worded it and said, should you work a
Okay.
job? So I answered from the should you, because it would add value to you, or in longevity in whatever you're doing, because you're focused in intent, and that's already your value system. But you gave it away when you said cops work. There are racist cops working in black neighborhoods. They
Yeah.
shouldn't be. They shouldn't be there. You see
Well,
what I'm saying?
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. You said you worked as a nurse, right?
Yep.
And I'm not sure what your stance on abortion is, but I would see that if you worked in a hospital that gave abortion or provided some level of abortion, you would still value you're making a living. You would just disagree with probably the way that the hospital operates in certain spaces.
Um, that's pretty. I was gonna say, if my value system was solely based on religion,
Mhm.
right, like that hardcore religion, I guess yeah, you would have a point. But I mean, in real life, the way that would just work is don't work me on that unit, right? Because I mean, well, also because nurses work in hospitals primarily.
Yes.
Hospitals don't give abortions, clinics do. So it wouldn't. That doesn't really apply to
But
nurses as
they
much.
can they have the option of aborting children too.
Well, medically necessary abortion, yes.
Yes, but it still would be against your religion to abort.
No, no, it would
Mm.
no. I was gonna say if a nurse is involved and a hospital is involved, it's not a it's not like a physician assisted abortion or selective. I'm sorry, yeah, it's not a selective abortion. It's likely medically necessary for the survival.
Medicinal reasons, yeah.
So there's no Jehovah Witness nurses, I'm guessing.
Of course, there are.
Of course.
What blood transfusion?
Yeah, yeah. These are very specific units, though.
These are
The whole
values.
hospital doesn't do
But
blood transfusions. Hematology.
I'm just saying the
Um,
company that you work with, it has a different value system.
Yeah.
So
But also keep in mind with these employers, they can't overstep their boundaries. If you can't do it, usually they'll find someone else who can do it.
yeah. Okay. What about the guy who made the cake? The cake maker who didn't want
Who didn't want to do it because it violates his religious beliefs. Now I don't remember the. Do you remember the disposition of that situation? Did he win in court or no?
No, actually he lost. The guy won actually.
Yeah, okay. Because as a company, I could refuse service to you. That's number one. And number two, if what you want violates my belief, especially since I own a company, hey, take your business elsewhere. Somebody else will do it. I'm just not going to do it.
Once again, like I said, you sold cigarettes at CVS, even though
Correct.
you don't believe that people should.
A younger version of me, by the way, but keep going.
But even though you were making a living, even though still you don't believe people should be smoking cigarettes. So I mean, come on
Yeah,
now.
because of the health benefits, and that was a younger version of me. Older version of me would not. Older version, current me right now is very particular about what jobs I will take and how I send to handle situation. I'm in the security field, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a commissioned officer in the state of Texas. I have a gun on me at all times, and if need be, I will use it. How Because that's what the state allowed me to do if I'm put in certain situations. However, my best weapons is literally my mouth, meaning I'm going to de-escalate this.
Oh,
Pause. Hey yo.
If most of my see, all my
Jesus cover me.
I forgot I got this on my finger, so I'm not going to say what I was going to say. But the best weapon is you de-escalating situations, so you don't always have to go for a gun. So I can still do my job and not cross certain lines, of course. Just saying.
make sure if you guys are watching on the Strongly Agree to Strongly Disagree channel to make your votes. I see only one vote right now, and it ain't the right vote. So I need for you guys, if you're on the channel, make sure that you're voting. Make sure you're participating. It helps us with our point system. It helps for bragging rights. Robbie, help me.
First of all, I'm not listening to them. They speaking of highly idealized point of view. Like at the end of the day, you gotta go and you gotta do what you gotta do to make sure your family eats. So the points that you were making, E Black TV, are absolutely correct. They're speaking to people that maybe have the choice because they run their own companies or they run their own business. You work for McDonald's, y'all know McDonald's not feeding y'all real meat, right? So that goes against your core values. Like you work for Walmart. Walmart goes on ahead and they hire people from China. They make the people in China live in these damn apartment complexes and tenements, work day and night, pay them 17 cents an hour so you could buy a toy water gun for $17.99. Like, get out of here. Are you serious right now? If everybody only made a living that aligns with their values, the whole entire world would be in chaos because nothing would get done. So you can't expect me to believe fool la la, honey.
I
It's
heard
facts.
some of those be lies anyway, but I feel what you're saying.
You heard what be lies? What be lies? I done watched the documentaries. I done talked to Chinese people. They be living in them tenements. They don't even have a choice. They don't even have a choice. Stop it.
I'm gonna break down about these stories about how they have child laborers to make stuff for the pennies of the dollars. I'm gonna break that down once and for all. Just give me a couple of months. So, well, we'll talk about that later. Trust me, because I think most of that is cap anyway.
All right. Oops, dang, I didn't even have my camera on. Okay, guys. I'm giving you guys are killing me. Currently, 33% strongly agree, 67 agree, 67% agree. Come on, guys. More votes and vote with your thinking. Because I'm about to go back to
Butterflies, y'all cutting up right now. Butterflies. What you doing? What you doing?
All right, we have a comment here. He says the lower down the chain you are, the less responsible you are, but promoting it in a positive light is different. I still believe, like, I don't know. I still believe it's different. I still believe that, you know, if that's the case, a lot of trust me, a lot of people wouldn't work for court system. I remember when I was they had asked me, I was developing a tablet system for judges on DUIs, and they was like, yeah. And they were wondering if I had any objections to it because they're basically the system I created would allow an ambulance to come and take your DNA by force. So, you know, and I told them, no, this is my job. This is what I have. But by my value system, I don't think the government has a right to do a lot of that stuff. So, you know.
Hey, what the hell? Man, what y'all do with this point system?
Shout out to butterflies.
Man, forget the butterflies. What kind of goofy stuff is this?
All right. And we're gonna we're gonna end the poll right now.
That's some bull. No, you're right. Give them about 500 points.
Okay, here we go. All right, so we're gonna end this. We're gonna end it, but with a comeback victory for the strongly disagreed side. 50% of people said they strongly disagreed. 33% said they agreed. 16% said they agreed. We take the win. 500 for me and Rob B. 200 for the Trigger Mike. And
I will be praying that somebody throws tomatoes at your front door.
All right, good job, everybody. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep it going. I got a banger for you. This one. I got this one is gonna be this one is gonna be good.
this. I'm saying though, this is why you got to bring your people in the building. Shout out to Cellulite Podcast. This is why you got to bring your people in the building. See, you got to bring your people. Your people got to have your back. Shout out to
Your
you, Butterfly.
people was
I love
asleep.
y'all. Make they old
Your
ass
people
stay
was
up.
minding their own business.
All right. Our
Hey.
next question is